So it's going to be nice for a lot of those things to be cleared up and people to see my side of the story, which is the true side.
And then, Juliette, this season, we kind of see the demise of your relationship with Sam. I mean, what is that going to be like kind of watching that back for you? And I mean, obviously this was filmed a long time ago and you've moved on, but what do you think that is going to be like watching that back for you?
I think I'm going to be shocked that I stayed in that position for as long as I did. I think sometimes when you have an outside perspective and you're looking back at a situation, you kind of are like questioning your thoughts and your actions. It's like, why did I do that? Or why did I say that? And I think for me, this experience of watching it back is just going to be like, why did I stay as long as I did and, put up with that? And I think, when you love someone, you try to make it work, but I really was unhappy and I was emotionally drained and exhausted and I just wasn't putting myself first. And I shouldn't have had to choose between myself and him. Mm-hmm. And so I ultimately get to the point where I do finally leave that, it was a toxic relationship. I finally leave and you get to see everything I go through. You basically see the whole breakup. So I think it's going to be interesting to see back, honestly.
And it seems like the show is going to clear up a lot of rumors about the relationship too. Did he cheat on you? Did you cheat on him? Where does Paris kind of come into this whole thing? Are we going to see the answers to those questions this season?
Yeah, you definitely you're gonna get a lot of questions answered. And I tried to be mature and kind of like stay off social media when it came to this whole breakup, because that's just like not who I want to be. I didn't want to be the type of person that like went to talk about someone online, or especially someone that I lived with. Yeah. So he didn't really do that though. So it's going to be nice for a lot of those things to be cleared up and people to see my side of the story, which is the true side. Mm-hmm. And how I went about the whole situation. I mean, it's going to be really relatable for people because it's difficult. And I chose to do certain things that might not have been what other people chose to do. But I think, it's going to be interesting to see the whole thought process between me and him.
Yeah. And certain people's actions. They speak for themselves.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think, in the trailer, we see that he is started to date Megan shortly after he, was dating you. I mean, Chloe, was that, were you surprised that he moved on so quickly, or do you think that he was using Megan to kind of get back at Juliette a little bit?
Oh, that's the only reason he was using her. And it was pathetic and sad and embarrassing for her and Sam.
Mm-hmm. Juliette, did you feel that as well?
Oh, I mean, like all I had to do was call him up one day and she was out on the street. It's like, come on, guys. We all know what's going down here. It wasn't a pretty
situation. But I think Sam was putting out such a strong narrative on social media, like when it was all happening. It's been a while now, but now that we're talking about it, I remember like us three sitting around the pool and it was just like in live time, like Sam just like putting out this whole story of what had happened when it was the complete opposite of the truth. And when you watch the show, you're going to see him lie and manipulate in real time and even try and manipulate me to my face, which is just like absurd and he should know better. But he did try. It was very
I think as I get older, I'm starting to realize like I can't be with people, friends with people, any of the sort that have really large ego problems. Yeah. And I think that's where this whole like creating stories and putting them on social media stem from. It was like trying so hard to make sure people liked him. I don't know, but it wasn't helping anyone. It wasn't allowing me to heal. And it was just frankly just like hurtful. Right. But honestly, in the end of the day, like his actions helped me move on. So I'm happy he did. If he did things the way that I did, which was try to be respectful and keep it cool most of the time, things might have gone a lot differently. Like I really am a firm believer in like the way someone treats you after an incident such as this, like really tells a lot about who they are.
Mhm.
Well, and I think you watching Sam like act the way he did was so hard because we've all known Sam for a decade, and Sam is like not a bad person. He's just a really bad boyfriend and really bad if you're not doing exactly what he wants if you're his girlfriend. And it was sad because it drew wedges in between all of us and him. It was like, you're either going to still be friends with Sam or you're going to call him out on his shit. And you're going to see a lot of people be like, how are you standing by Sam? And then there's people that are like, how are you standing by Juliette? So it's really interesting.
It kind of
definitely stemmed from his own insecurities and ego, and it made it easier for Juliette to move on. So it was kind of nice. I'm like, okay, keep it going because you're just making this easier on her.
Seriously.
Well, the sad reality is like a lot of the people that stand by him don't care enough about him to tell him when he's in the wrong, or they just want to use him for his things.
Yeah, it seems like he suffered for a little bit of a bruised ego. I mean, and then Juliette, it seems like you have moved on. You're now in a new relationship, right?
Yeah.
Are you happy? Are we going to see him on the show as well?
Yeah, you're going to see him a little bit. He comes around towards the end and he's just like everything that I needed, like not even needed, everything that I wanted. Like he just came into my life at a time where I wasn't expecting him, and he's everything Sam wasn't.